I get a lot of requests from people for information about how to stretch and how to improve the flexibility, which in turn is generally intended to improve the kicking skill. And now, something you have to think about is that flexibility is not the be-all and everything when it comes to kicking skill. There are certain lifestyle habits that you can adopt, and you should also try and think about not just your flexibility, but your range of motion, because that's what's probably a more useful term than saying flexibility. Because we tend to think with kicking that flexibility is going to be just in the legs, but flexibility is elsewhere as well. It's in the back, it's in the neck and the shoulders, it's in the torso. So you can't be completely or have a great range of motion if you're flexible below the waist and stiff in the joints above the waist. So here's a little tip for you to think about, and this is just something that's very, very simple, but very, very effective at the same time. And this is to try and educate your feet and your legs to try and work like your hands. So for instance, if I take a glove, I can do things, just sit, and I can just flip the glove. I can play with the glove. Pick it up, throw it, I can turn it this way, I can turn it the other way. And the goal is to build sensitivity and proprioception into your feet so that you can start to do things. I mean, the process that I look at is what I call Superkick. And Superkick is not about doing 540s and 720s. Superkick is about being able to box with your feet. And that takes a sensitivity because the legs are heavier, they're not as fast as the hands, and they can't move as well. We don't have the same motor skills. But this little drill just helps to build sensitivity into your feet so that you can start to build the muscles and sort of liven up the muscles, enliven the muscles, so that you build this ability to just play. Now you'll find it, at first you might find it quite difficult, and you'll find out which is your favourite foot. I think mine is still my right foot, but you can play. Now that's a very useful technique. You can also do it with things such as a ball. This is a massage ball, and you can pick it up, put it down. I can pick it up and put it over there. I can pick up and put it over here. I can put it out in front. Oh, there it's gone. I get another ball, and again I can flip it. So what you're doing is you're just teaching your feet to move like your hands, because the better you have the control and the proprioception, which means proprioception is if I close my eyes and hold this ball, I know because of my feel, I know where this thing is. I move it this way, up, down. I can tell without really thinking much about it. I know where it is in space. And it's the same with the feet. If I can do that with my feet and just play, then I'm going to build up that same proprioception, that same sense of spatiality. I know where the thing is in time and space, and it's a really useful exercise. Now, I'll give you another exercise which is really good, and this is just to sit in front of your TV, or doesn't have to be the TV, you can sit in front of the TV and watch a program and just do a leg spread. And as the time goes on, just if you can, just pull the leg a little bit further out. And just stay. Keep your back flat. Keep yourself moving forward if you can to put some stress on the inner thigh. And the other option is just to read. How often are you doing this? Because a lot of people who talk to me about lacking in flexibility, one of the questions I ask is, well, how often do you stretch? And they suddenly go, well, there's clues in the question. The more that you stretch and work in extended positions and work your range of motion, the better you'll become. So this is just a little tip for you potential super kickers on how to get the best out of your flexibility.